Hindu calendar is a collective name for most of the luni-sidereal calendars and sidereal calendars traditionally used in Hinduism. The Hindu calendars have undergone many changes in the process of regionalization. Some of the more prominent regional Hindu calendars include the Nepali calendar, Punjabi calendar, Bengali calendar, Malayalam calendar, Tamil calendar, Vikrama Sambat used in northern India, and Shalivahana calendar in the Deccan states of Karnataka, Telangana, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. The common feature of many regional Hindu calendars is that the names of the 12 months are the same. The month which starts the year also varies from region to region. It is now 2059. The Buddhist calendar and the traditional lunisolar calendars of Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Sri Lanka and Thailand are also based on an older version of the Hindu calendar. Most of the Hindu calendars derived from Gupta-era astronomy as developed by Aryabhata and Varahamihira in the 5th to 6th century. These in turn were based in the astronomical tradition of Adanga Jyotisa, which in the preceding centuries had been standardized in a number of works known as Surya Siddhanta. Regional diversification took place in the medieval period. The astronomical foundations were further developed in the medieval period, notably by Bhaskara II. Differences and regional variations abound in these computations, but the following is a general overview of the Hindu lunisolar calendar. The Indian national calendar, or Sakha calendar, was introduced in 1957 based on the traditional Hindu calendars. Day. In the Hindu calendar, the day starts with the sunrise. It is allotted 5 properties, or limbs, called angas. They are the tithi active at sunrise, the Vasara, Vara, like in Ravi Vara, Soma Vara, etc., or weekday, the Nakshatra in which the moon resides at sunrise, the Yoga active at sunrise time, the Karana active at sunrise. Together 5 limbs or properties are labeled as under as the Pankangas. An explanation of the terms follows. Vasara refers to the weekdays, and the names of the week in many Western cultures bear striking similarities with the Vasara. The term Vasara is often realized as Vara or Vaar in Sanskrit-arrived and influenced languages. There are many variations of the names in the regional languages, mostly using alternate names of the celestial bodies involved. Nakshatra. The ecliptic is divided into 27 nakshatras, which are variously called lunar houses or asterisms. These reflect the moon cycle against the fixed stars, 27 days and 7¾ hours. The fractional part being compensated by an intercalary 28th nakshatra titled Abhijit. Nakshatra's computation appears to have been well known at the time of the Rig Veda. The ecliptic is divided into the nakshatras eastwards starting from a reference point which is traditionally a point on the ecliptic directly opposite the star spica called Sitra in Sanskrit. It is called Masadi. Starter varies. This is when the equinox, where the ecliptic meets the equator, was in Aries. The difference between Masadi and the present equinox is known as Ayanam Sa, denoting by how much of a fraction of degrees and minutes the ecliptic has progressed from its fixed position. Given the 25,800-year cycle for the precession of the equinoxes, the equinox was directly opposite Spica in CE 285, around the date of the Surya Siddhanta. The nakshatras with their corresponding regions of sky are given below, following Bhasham. As always, there are many versions with minor differences. The names on the right-hand column give roughly the correspondence of the nakshatras to modern names of stars. Note that nakshatras are not just single stars but are segments on the ecliptic characterized by one or more stars. Hence more than one star is mentioned for each nakshatra. Yoga. The Sanskrit word yoga means union, but in astronomical calculations it is used in the sense of alignment. First one computes the angular distance along the ecliptic of each object, taking the ecliptic to start at Mesa or Aries. This is called the longitude of that object. the longitude of the Sun and the longitude of the Moon are added, and normalized to a value ranging between 0 degrees to 360 degrees. This sum is divided into 27 parts. Each part will now equal 800. These parts are called the yogas. They are labeled Viskamba, Pretty, Ayaman, Saubhagya, Varna, Ataganda, Sukama, Dhrti, Ula, Ganda, Vrddhi, Dhruva, Vyagata, Hasana, Vajra, Sadi, Vyatipata, Variyas, Paraga, Eva, Siddha, Sadhya, Abha, Ukla, Brahma, Mahendra, Vaidta. Again, minor variations may exist. The yoga that is active during sunrise of a day is the prevailing yoga for the day. Karana. A karana is half of a tithi. To be precise, a karana is the time required for the angular distance between the Sun and the Moon to increase in steps of 6 degrees starting from 0 degrees. Since the tithe is of 30 in number, and since one tithi equals 2 karanas, therefore one would logically expect there to be 60 karanas. But there are only 11 such karanas which fill up to those slots to accommodate for those 30 tithis. There are actually 4 fixed karanas and 7 repeating karanas. The 4 fixed karanas are Akuni, Kataspada, Naga, Kimstufna. The 7 repeating karanas are Vava or Bava, Valava or Balava, Kaulava, Titula or Titula, Gara or Garaja, Vanaja, Vista. Now the first half of the first tithi is always Kimtna karana, hence this karana is fixed. Next, the 7 repeating karanas repeat 8 times to cover the next 56 half-tithis. Thus these are the repeating karanas. The 3 remaining half-tithis take the remaining fixed karanas in order. Thus these are also fixed. Thus one gets 60 karanas from those 11 preset karanas. The Vedic day begins at sunrise. The karana at sunrise of a particular day shall be the prevailing karana for the whole day. Months of the lunisolar calendar. There are 2 traditions being followed with respect to the start of the month. Amavasya tradition, followed mainly in the western and southern states of India, considers a new moon occurring before sunrise on a day to be the first day of the lunar month. Purnima tradition, on the other hand, considers the next day of a full moon to be the first day of the lunar month. This tradition is chiefly followed in the northern and eastern states of India. Having the 2 active traditions in practice would also mean that while the month names of the Hindu lunar calendar remains the same, there is on an average 15 days difference in starting and ending of the month between the 2 traditions. This has its effects of the dates of recurring annual events such as the holy month of Ravana. For example, between the followers of the 2 traditions, the start of Ravana month and its religious abstinence and observations will be deferred by 15 days for the followers of Amavasyan tradition. A lunar month has 29 or 30 days. The tithi at sunrise of a day is the only label of the day. There is no running day number from the first day to the last day of the month. This has some unique results, as explained below. Sometimes 2 successive days have the same tithi. In such a case, the latter is called an adhikar tithi, where adhikar means extra. Sometimes, one tithi may never touch a sunrise, and hence no day will be labeled by that tithi. It is then said to be a tithi ksaya, where ksaya means loss. Month names. There are 12 months in Hindu lunar calendar: Chaitra, Vaisakha, Jasthar, Asada, Ravana, Bhadrapada, Bhadra or Prosthapada, Asvana, Kartika, Agrahayana, Margazirsa, Pausa, Magha, Falguna. Determining which name a lunar month takes is somewhat indirect. It is based on the Rashi into which the Sun transits within a lunar month, i.e., before the new moon ending the month. There are 12 Rasi names. There are 12 lunar month names. When the Sun transits into the Mesa Rasi in a lunar month, then the name of the lunar month is Chaitra, which has both Meena Rasi and Mesa Rasi. When the sun transits into Vyasabha Rasi, then the lunar month is Vaisakha, which has both Mesa Rasi and Vyasabha Rasi. So on. Purushottam Mas is an extra month or 13 in the Hindu calendar. This has been done for bridging of the lunar and solar calendar seasons if the transits of the sun through various constellations of the zodiac are used. Then we get solar months, which do not shift with reference to the Gregorian calendar. The solar months along with the corresponding Hindu seasons and Gregorian months are the Sanskrit derivation of the lunar month names Chaitra etc. is the month which has its central full moon occurring at or near the Chitra Nakshatra is called Chaitra. Another example is, let's say, when Purnima occurs in or near Vaisakha Nakshatra. This in turn results to the initiation of the lunar month titled Vaisakha Masa. Similarly, for the nakshatras Vaisakha, Jastha, Asada, Ravana, Bhadrapada, Asvini, Krika, Margasaras, Pusya, Megha and Falguni, the names Vaisakha etc. At Purnima, the other lunar names are derived subsequently. The lunar months are split into two paksas of 15 days. The waxing paksha is called Ukla Paksa, light half, and the waning paksa, the Krsna Paksa, dark half. There are two different systems for making the lunar calendar. A Marvasyanta or Mukyamana system. A month begins with a new moon and ends at new moon, mostly followed in South India. Purnimanta or Gaurnamana system. A month begins with a full moon and ends at full moon, followed more in North India. Purnimanta is also known as Uklanta Masa, and this system is recommended by Varahamihira. Extra months when the sun does not at all transit into any rasi, but simply keeps moving within a rasi in a lunar month. Then that lunar month will be named according to the first upcoming transit. It will also take the epithet of Adhika or extra. For example, if a lunar month elapsed without a solar transit and the next transit is into Mesa, then this month without transit is labeled Adhika Chaitra Masa. The next month will be labeled according to its transit as usual and will get the epithet Nya or Uddha. In the animation above, Year 2 illustrates this concept with Bhadrapada repeating twice, the first time the sun stays entirely within Simha Rashi, thus resulting in an Adhika. Bhadrapada, extra month, or Adhika Masa falls every 32.5 months. It is also known as Purushottama Masa. It is said that the name is being given by Lord Vishnu as his name to this month. Thus 12 Hindu masas equal to approximate 356 days, while solar year have 365 or 366, which create difference of 9 to 10 days, which is offset every third year. No Adhika Masa falls during Kartika Tamar. A month-long fair is celebrated in Makhegorn during Adhika Masa. It is general belief that one can wash away all one's sins by taking a bath in the Makhenarayan's pond. Lost months. If the sun transits into two rashis within a lunar month, then the month will have to be labeled by both transits and will take the epithet Ksaya or loss. There is considered to be a loss because in this case, there is only 1 month labeled by both transits. If the sun had transited into only one Rashi in a lunar month as is usual, there would have been 2 separate months labeled by the 2 transits in question. For example, if the sun transits into Mesa and Vyasabha in a lunar month, then it will be called Chaitra Vaisakha Ksaya Masa. There will be no separate months labeled Chaitra and Vaisakha. A Ksaya Masa occurs very rarely. Known gaps between occurrence of Ksaya Masish are 19 and 141 years. The last was in 1983. January 15 through February 12 were Pausa Magha Ksaya Masa. February 13 onwards was Falguna. Special case. If there is no solar transit in one lunar month but there are 2 transits in the next lunar month, the first month will be labeled by the first transit of the second month and take the epithet Adhikaran. The next month will be labeled by both its transits as is usual for a Ksaya Masa. This is a very rare occurrence. The last was in 1315. October 8 to November 5 were Kartika Adhika Masa. November 6 to December 5 were Kartika Margazirsa Ksaya Masa. December 6 onwards was Pausa. Religious observances in case of extra and lost months among normal months, Adhika months, and Shaya months. The earlier are considered better for religious purposes. That means, if a festival should fall on the 10th Tithi of the Ashvayaja month and there are two Asvayaja months caused by the existence of an Adhika, Asvayuja, the first Adhika month will not see the festival, and the festival will be observed only in the second Niya month. However, if the second month is Ashvayuja Shaya, then the festival will be observed in the first Adhika month itself. When 2 months are rolled into one in the case of a Shaya Masa, the festivals of both months will also be rolled into this Ksaya Masa, unless Adhika Masa precedes it. For example, the festival of Mahashivaratri, which is to be observed on the 14th Tithi of the Magha Krsna Paksa, was, in 1983, observed on the corresponding Tithi of Pausa Magha Ksaya Krsna Paksa, since in that year, Pausa and Magha were rolled into one, and Niya Margashirsha preceded it, as mentioned above. Vishnava calendar year of the lunisolar calendar. The New Year day is the first day of the Shukla Paksha of Chaitra. In the case of Adhika or Shaya months relating to Chaitra, the aforementioned religious rules apply, giving rise to the following results. If an Adhika Chaitra is followed by a Niya Chaitra, the new year starts with the Niya Chaitra. If an Adhika Chaitra is followed by a Chaitra Vaishaka Shaya, the new year starts with the Adhika Chaitra. If a Chaitra Vaisakha Ksaya occurs with no Adhika Chaitra before it, then it starts the new year. If a Chaitra Phalguna Ksaya occurs, it starts the new year. Another kind of lunisolar calendar. There is another kind of lunisolar calendar which differs from the former in the way the months are named. When a full moon occurs before sunrise on a day, that day is said to be the first day of the lunar month. In this case, the end of the lunar month will coincide with a full moon. This is called the Purnimantamana, full moon ending reckoning, as against the Amantamana, new moon ending reckoning used before. This definition leads to a lot of complications. The first Paksa of the month will fall on Krsna Paksa, whilst the second will be Ukla Paksa in Purnimanta system. The new year is still on the first day of the Chaitra Ukla Paksa. The subsequent Paksas will, for example, be. Note: Phalguna Masa is the last lunar month, with the last Paksa of the year in this Purnimanta system being Phalguna Ukla Paksa. The Ukla Paksa of a given month, say Chaitra, comprises the same actual days in both systems, as can be deduced from a careful analysis of the rules. However, the Chaitra Krsna Paksas defined by the two systems will be on different days. Since the Chaitra Krsna Paksa precedes the Chaitra Ukla Paksa in the Purnimanta system but follows it in the Amanta system. Though the regular months are defined by the full moon, the Adhika and Ksaya lunar months are still defined by the new moon. That is, even if the Purnimanta system is followed, Adhika or Ksaya months will start with the first sunrise after the new moon, and end with the new moon. The Adhika month will therefore get sandwiched between the two Paksas of the Niya months. For example, a Ravana Adhika Masa will be inserted as follows. Niya Ravana Krsna Paksa Adhika Ravana Ukla Paksa Adhika Ravana Krsna Paksa and Niya Shravana Ukla Paksa, after which Bhadrapada Krsna Paksa will follow subsequently as usual. If there is an Adhika Chaitra, then it will follow the Chaitra Krsna Paksa at the end of the year. Only with the Niya Chaitra Ukla Paksa will the new year start. The only exception is when it is followed by a Ksaya, and that will be mentioned later. The Ksaya month is more complicated. If in the Amanta system there is a Pausa Magha Ksaya Masa, then in the Purnimanta system there will be the following Paksas. Pausa Krsna Paksa Pausa Marga Shayurukla Paksa Maga Falguna Ksaya Krsna Paksa and Falguna Rukla Paksa. The special Ksaya case where an Adhikar Masa precedes a Shaya Masa gets even more convoluted. First, we should remember that the Asvana Rukla Paksa is the same in both the systems. After this come the following Paksis. Neokartika Krsna Paksa Adhikar Kartika Rukla Paksa Adhikar Kartika Krsna Paksa Kartika Magazirsa Ksaya Ukla Paksa Magazirsa Pausa Ksaya Krsna Paksa Pausa Ukla Paksa followed by the Maga Krsna Paksa etc. As usual, the considerations for the new year: if there is a Chaitra Vaisakha Ksaya Ukla Paksa. If an Adhikar Chaitra precedes it, then the Adhikar Chaitra Ukla Paksa starts the new year. If not, the Ksaya Ukla Paksa starts the new year. If there is a Falguna Chaitra Ksaya Ukla Paksa, then it starts the new year. However, none of these above complications cause a change in the day of religious observances, since only the name of the Krsna Paksis of the months will change in the two systems. Festivals which fall on the Krsna Paksa will be defined by the appropriate changed name, that is, the Mahasavaratri, defined in the Amantamana to be observed on the 14th of the Magha Krishna Paksha will now be defined by the Falguna Krishna Paksha. Correspondence of the lunisolar calendar to the solar calendar. A lunisolar calendar is always a calendar based on the moon's celestial motion, which in a way keeps itself close to a solar calendar based on the sun's celestial motion. That is, the lunisolar calendar's new year is always kept close to a solar calendar's new year, since the Hindu lunar month names are based on solar transits, and the month of Chaitra will, as defined above, always be close to the solar month of Mesa. The Hindu lunisolar calendar will always keep in track with the Hindu solar calendar. The Hindu solar calendar by contrast starts on April 14-15 each year. This signifies the sun's entry into Mesha Rashi and is celebrated as the new year in Assam, Bengal, Odisha, Manipur, Kerala, Punjab, Tamil Nadu and Tripura. The first month of the year is called, in Tamil, Medam, in Malayalam and Bohag in Assamese, Basak in Bengali, Punjabi and Nepali. This solar new year is celebrated on the same day in Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Nepal and Thailand.